Listen. As I was thinking of this episode, I thought of the people that are here in this world that are addicted to getting good information and doing nothing with it. Getting good information and doing nothing with it.
Welcome to Accepted Addictions with P-Dubs. Get ready to immerse yourself in a podcast that's open to people of all stripes and persuasions. Accepted Addictions is not just a podcast, it's a movement. We go over societal norms that are considered acceptable, but are often toxic to our growth, development, and even behavior. This is a platform where we explore the multifaceted identities within ourselves, recognizing that some versions have it all figured out, while others lean into that negativity. This is Accepted Addictions, where every version of you, every evolution of you, is not just embraced, but celebrated. So sit back, open your ears, grab a drink. You know I'll be sipping on my kombucha and prepare for an engaging journey.
Why everything that's supposed to be bad make me feel so good? Everything they told me not to do is exactly what I would. Man, I tried to stop, man. I tried the best I could, what's your addiction?
Welcome back to another episode of Accepted Addictions. Whew. I just started this recording after getting some really troubling news. I just heard that D'Angelo just passed away today. Rest in peace to an R&B legend. I used to play What a Year by Dave East on repeat in college, baby. Dave East is one of the finest men in rap, okay? He sampled My Lady by D'Angelo so beautifully. Just thinking about it gives me chills. And for those of you that are listening right now, always remember that we have an episode playlist every episode, and you can find some of my favorites from D'Angelo right in that playlist. But that'll be right in the description. But moving on, I do have a little bit of updates for you guys. So for those of you that have been listening, you know I love Sasha Keeble. You know, I've been talking about trying to get into her concert this October, trying to give her this care package, just trying to, you know, really show her my love, because that's one of my favorite artists. Something must have gone down with her team, because her manager was just like impossible to work with, y'all. I kept reaching out, writing the most genuine messages, and she just either left me on red or gave me a really general message like, oh, just leave it with somebody at front, or just hand it off. And it's like, baby, nah, it's something I made with my hands. Something again, it's a care package, okay? But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I'm still catching Destin Conrad live next month. He had pushed his September show to November, and I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. And it'll be crazy if he brought out Sasha Keeble, because you know they're gang, like locked the hell in. So that would be love. But I'm not going to expect too much. At the end of the day, I love Destin Conrad. Y'all know this. Every season I talk about the guys. My favorite podcast ever, Cocktails with Kiki and Medina Monroe, is having a giveaway. Y'all, I need this. I really need this one. Me and my job had separated in June, a week before my birthday, and I haven't looked back since. I'm walking by faith and not by fear. I'm going into full creative project management. And it's something that I believe in and have really let my faith do the walking, okay? I remember, it's so funny with this giveaway coming up, because it's a giveaway to Thailand, right? And I remember sitting in my desk at work, not even at my desk, for a meeting. And it was one of those meetings, y'all, anybody who's listening, who's working, whatever, in corporate, you know, there's sometimes meetings where this meeting could literally be an email. It's one of the meetings where your director, the CEO, sits everyone down for something that everybody already knows, but they feel we all should know it again at the same time. So I was sitting there, bored out of my mind, and I started sketching. You know, everybody's twiddling their thumbs, you know, looking at their phone or looking at their feet, but I just started to sketch. I started to sketch my character, Sade, the character you all are seeing right now, but in a suit this time. You know, boss shit. I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm feeling like. Suited P. You know what I'm saying? So I draw her in that suit, as well as draw Thailand and a license plate. I've always visualized myself living there for either a year or some time. Thailand to me is somewhere that's very peaceful, very serene, very comfortable and calming. Just a reset. Overall represented for me, as well as a game controller, right? I had drawn a game controller to symbolize how life is a game, because I did draw a few other personal symbols there. But later that night, I brought it all to canvas. I brought it all to like on canvas. It's still unfinished, but I drew that piece last November and I kept saying to myself, I'm going to Thailand, I'm going to Thailand, I'm going to Thailand. It doesn't matter. I'm going to Thailand. But then, this thing with my job happened. I started living off my savings. That dried up. Then I had to start living off of my skills as an artist, getting back to me, Sankofa, hello, getting back to my roots of who I am and my God-given talents. And because that's allowed me to have my rent, have my car note, have my car insurance, be able to eat and still live life. I say this all to say is I never stopped believing that I would go. And now Medina, the host, really just announced this giveaway for a group trip to Thailand, a Lover Girls giveaway. This year has tested everything, my patience, my faith, my spirit. And Thailand represents everything I've been working towards, everything I want, spiritual cleansing, peace, and just that water all around that just washes away that old. Medina made this Lover Girl trip because she felt it was essential for women to nurture themselves. Because oftentimes when things are happening in this world, we can turn cold, right? As people, we can turn cold, we can turn jaded, we can just be so defensive because of an experience, because of experiences. And Medina has been through a lot this year. And she didn't want women to lose their faith, especially women who might be going through the same thing or more. Let's come together. Let's dream together. Let's love together. Let's explore together, experience together, because you're not alone. And that warmed my heart. I honestly was like, wow, Dina. So if you're listening, please help me out. Please. I think the giveaway is still up right now. I want you all to go to Coffee Bean Dean's page. Go right to her page, click the link in her bio, and click the Lover Girl giveaway. Okay? Please nominate me. Please, please, please. You just have to submit a 30 to a minute long video. Please, y'all, I need this. Okay, I'm gonna stop begging right now. Okay, but if you're listening, you can do that, or you can tag me under Coffee Bean Dean's page. She has a post for the Lover Girl post. Tag me so I can make this dream real. Okay, but enough begging for today. Okay, let's get into today's topic. All right, so I really want you all to close your eyes. Close your eyes for a second and really just imagine a world where there's no 9 to 5s. No more working because all of our jobs are now fully automated. It might be hard to do because the system we live in is built on working for income. But I wonder, I really do, how that's going to look. If machines are doing all the jobs right now, right? Because it seems like we're going into full automation. Who earns the money to buy what they produce? I asked that all today because of rebellion. The addiction to pushing back, questioning systems, resisting rules. But what's your purpose? Do you even know why? Because I came across this article today, right? And it really made me think. And basically the article was Walmart and some other company is partnering with OpenAI. OpenAI is what ChatGPT is. So basically it lets people shop directly through ChatGPT instead of going to Walmart's website, the app, whatever. You can chat with ChatGPT to ask them to find that product and then buy it right there. So basically, AI is doing so much more than just answering questions. It's actually helping you anticipate and fully fulfill your needs. They even literally said, anticipate your needs. Like I quote, anticipate your needs. Babies, we are about to be in full automation, like legit. This is a reason to be outraged. You hear my throat. Let me open my kombucha real quick, okay? I got today's Synergy's elderberry. It's delicious. This is one of my favorite flavors. It's so sweet. It has such a delicious taste. It has elderberry, blueberry juice, kiwi juice. I think that's what I love the most about it. The kiwi juice, or maybe even the juniper berry. Yeah, a lot of people do not like kombucha because of the apple cider vinegar flavor it has to it. But this one I feel really doesn't have that taste to it. So if you guys are looking for an alternative to something that's less gingery or apple cider vinegary, I do recommend this GT Synergy elderberry flavor. But let me get back to it because I didn't need to just squitch my throat. But Honestly, yes, I feel like what's going on with this full automation transition we're getting into, this is a reason to be outraged. Okay, Rebellion, listen. Yes, I do like the no hopping on different sites, no app, no website, just chat, buy, and then boom, it's delivered. I love that. That's amazing. And with this full share of automation, you can imagine how many other companies are going to follow suit. Before AI just replaced tasks like calculations, customer support on Amazon and things like that, or even scheduling when it came to like Outlook and things like that. But now it's replacing entire layers of the workforce, babies. Listen, babies, they have electric and Tesla 16-wheeler trucks now. I think they have an electric plane now too. We even have remote control cars on Mars. Like, let's stop playing around, okay? Waymos have had such a big boom on the West Coast. I don't know about the East Coast because I have been home, but I haven't really like paid attention enough to know if the Waymos are crazy there. But over here, over the past years, these driverless cars have become, and I just found out that as an alternative to using Uber regularly, they are now incentivizing Waymo. So they're offering cheaper rides if you use this driverless service. So now, it was already an alternative to Lyft and Uber. Uber is partnered with them. And the funny part is, Waymo cars can't even drive for real. They can't drive on a highway or parkway. Too dangerous. But they aren't even that good in driving, period. They cause traffic because they're still learning the system of how the roads are configured. But hey, they get people to where they need to go by just using an app, right? That's the best part. I wonder how that's going to work. But hey, we're here. And my question to you all is, what are we going to do with all this information? Like, for real, what are we going to do with all this information? Because as I was like thinking of this episode, I thought of the people that are here in this world that are addicted to getting good information and doing nothing with it. We keep being mad about things being created, being that things that we created that are being stolen. But no one is equipping themselves with the knowledge to not let it happen again, or even to share it. So now it's collective knowledge. No sharing, no collective learning, just outrage. Baby, the government is shutting down. No, the government is shut down. We're marching to make sure this country's president isn't a king. What? There's an alien spacecraft that's heading towards us called 3i Atlas. Bro, the GOAT, Tyler the Creator, is about to be canceled. Like, what's going on? Babies, wake up. We are in spiritual warfare. What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Okay? Are you building or are you just resisting? I'm tired of getting on social media and seeing all these addicted to getting information and doing nothing with it people. Okay? Psychology literally says that digital outrage can temporarily boost dopamine. It can create this cycle of reaction without resolution. And I feel like that's what it truly has become. In a few years, there's going to be a new DSM, a new DSM mental health outbreak of what social media has done to activism. Anyway, let me not get too into it. But I feel like social media has really become a stage for performative rebellion, like anger, outrage, critique. Viral critique really replaces meaningful action. And that's not taken at all from online activism movements like Me Too, civil rights movements like Sandra Bland, Black Lives Matter, underground art movements. The list goes on. But my biggest takeaway that I want y'all to stay with right now is the fact that from that article that I shared with y'all is that a fully automated future is here. Is here. And at some point, we're all going to be creating in this new future. Like, and this is something we need to put action behind. I feel like with automation being the turning point that we're on, this is my assumption the only jobs that are going to be left are going to be creative contribution, like art, storytelling, design, innovation, um, expression, personal expression through whatever that might be in some kind of creative contribution. Purpose-driven roles like care, like home care, health care, not home health care, like more home care, hospitality care, domestic care, teaching, emotional intelligence, self-resilience, what is it called? Self-regulation, coaching, human connection. They're anger management. I feel like coaching is going to be such a big thing with this new way of life. Even just personal brands and micro entrepreneurship being on the highest level. People are going to start creating value through their identity, through perspective, through community. I see it right now, every day. And even with AI, I feel like there's going to still be supervision needed. People are going to still be needed in teaching and guiding humans how to use it, guiding humans how to refine it, guiding AI how to refine it, curating how or curating what AI builds, right? Right now is the time, y'all. Wake up. With automation being the turning point that we're on right now, I really feel like these are the jobs that are only going to be left. And I say this all to say because I'm a rebel with a cause, okay? I'm a rebel, yes, with a cause. Listen, my dad came to America March 1978, bro. March 1978. You know why? Because of Ali Must Go. Ali Must Go protest. Hello. It's not on me, it's in me. If you don't know what that is, do your Googles. Get with the program. Huh? I didn't ask to be this. It's in me. I didn't ask to be this way. I was born into it, baby. But anyway, let me stop playing. Back to the program. Always have, always will be. I always did what I wanted, made my own way, and said fuck the standard. Since I walked out of Christine's cooter cat, I've been something else. I just care too much to stay silent, care too much and I advocate. And from being in an all boys group, I think that gave me a lot of confidence as a woman to just walk with my head high, like being a tomboy, then growing into who I am today, into adulthood. Shaved my head as many times as I had living in a strict Nigerian home, putting myself through the school that I wanted to go to being the one and only person in my family to leave the country. I mean, to not leave the country, to move across the country away, and not really have that same access. I've always been righteous. I've always been questioning. I've always been the one asking, why do we do it this way? Right? I know a lot of you listening, like I could relate. So many times I could have chose comfort, right? But I chose to be truthful to who I am because so many times I could have just been like, yo, let me just stay with the status quo. Let me not make anybody uncomfortable here with my question that I might have. But what the fuck does that really do? We've been so programmed to believe that we need this system, the government, the world, the standard, whatever is placed on us. But the truth is, it needs us. When I visited Nigeria, my dad's village had something so powerful going on. It was crazy. So every Monday, the people shut down everything. Everything. No one worked until the government made changes. No one worked. Everyone banded together, from the post office to the grocery stores to the little mom and pop little stores down the street that you could find at the end of any block. It was closed. Closed. No one worked until the government made a change, period. They all came together and said that. Okay. So I was there to witness that, and it was amazing. It was powerful. It was beautiful. Because to me, that's real rebellion with structure. And they had me thinking, like, could America ever do that? And that's not even the full Nigeria. That was a village in Nigeria, right? Because it's like, and sometimes I do believe we can, and sometimes I believe we can't. Or even not yet, because we're still so dependent. And that's why I believe the next era for all of us is about rebuilding, for real, learning. You know what I mean? Learning survival, learning mindfulness, learning self-regulation, building, gardening, remembering, and honestly learning what should have been the basics. The basics, okay? We know the world we want to live in, but what kind of value do we bring to it, right? Every time I always talk to people and I always hear what they don't like, or even myself. I could state out loud what I don't like. But what do I do like? What do I do want to bring to this world? What can I offer? We know what world we want to live in, but what value do we offer? It's so hard to do when we have other things to worry about. I know, you know what I mean? I know we have our bills to worry about. We have our family members to take care of, our friends to take care of, ourselves to take care of. So many things. Sometimes it's like we got to do something, and that something is literally nothing. But right now, what I think everyone should do, and what I urge everyone to do, is to think more. Now is the time to really ask yourself, who am I outside of a paycheck? What fulfills me if I'm not surviving? What fulfills me if I'm not surviving? What kind of world do I want to create or co-create when survival is no longer the center? I, in my heart, believe and feel that we are all artists. And the sooner we all realize that, the sooner we can channel our energy into progress and not just resistance. There's this quote by Toni Morrison, and basically she says, dictators and people in the office, dictators and people in the office, people who want to control and deceive, know exactly who will disturb their plans. And those people are the artist. The artist. And to me, what that means is artists are the people that sees what's not there. They create structure where you might see, or where the average person might see, limitation, right? That's why we're so important. That's why you're important. That's why I'm important. That's where we are all important. I brought up this topic of rebellion because social media and online platforms have become such a space for pseudo activism. What are you doing in real life? Even me on this platform, it doesn't stop here. It does not stop here. Talk to your neighbor. Build that utopia you keep complaining doesn't exist. One day at a time, though. Y'all probably like, fuck this bitch, what she talking about? But real shit, yo, listen to me. I really want people to be liberated. If you guys knew what kind of work I was doing in my nonprofit, I'm not going to share too much because you're going to be able to know where I was working. But I really want people to be liberated. Anyone that knows me knows that I want us all. I want that for all of us. You know what I mean? Creatively, financially, emotionally. Control over our time, control over our voices, control over our output. And that goes to my friends, people I meet on the street, people I work with, whoever. I'm putting that on you. Because I really do value real human connection, real human energy, not that performative networking, but alignment, understanding, and just real collaboration. Stand for something and fall for anything. Stand for something and fall for anything. What are your motivations? What are your values? When you listen to this, I don't want you ever to feel like I take you all for granted. Any person that's listening, I really read these comments. I really read what you're saying. I really listen. I really see who subscribes. I really see who likes it. I really see it because I don't take y'all for granted. You are real people, not just numbers. When y'all listen to this, I don't ever want you to feel like you're taken for granted. Accept Addictions is here to impart something, not just to be monetized. My dream is to use these platforms, to create jobs, to create sustainability where we can all work together without stressing about where to find the next meal, where to lay our heads, but be able to do things we're skilled at, be able to do the things that set us apart to contribute to the world. That's my dream. There's this clip I love. It's about to be 2 years now since this episode dropped, but I did show an excerpt of it at a different part in my past season of the podcast of Accept Addictions. But I wanted to share with you all insert from this podcast. Not even, is it a podcast? Yeah, it's a podcast. But Joe Rogan, y'all know who this guy is. A lot of people don't like him, but he had my guy, Billy Carson, on. And I want to show a clip to you guys that I really do love. I really, really do love. And I want you guys to pay attention because it's something I want to move forward into talking about as far as like where we're going with AI, where we're going with automation, where this future is headed.
If you're going to replace somebody's job, you have to then take away their financial responsibilities. You can't expect them to still have the financial responsibilities and take away the job.
Right.
So that's going to be the conundrum. I'm waiting to see how that's going to pan out. How many of us are going to stand up and say, look, wait a minute now. I'm a single mother of 3 and I can't waitress anymore. So what's going to happen? Or even attorneys are at risk. Nurses are at risk now. So
well, here's
what
the
are you
thing.
going to do?
There's enough money in this country, just in this country alone, to, if you did replace jobs, you make it so that whatever controls that industry has to give a certain percentage to ensure not just like a living wage, but a good wage, like where people live well and they don't have to think about it. Yeah. But then you got to give people a purpose because you can't just have them laying around getting free money and not having a life. Because a lot of people, their purpose is their job. You know, that's what they look forward to. They get engaged with something. They have a community there. They have tasks that they do. They succeed. They go out to dinner and celebrate. That's a big part of life for people. You can't just take that away. So then how does that get replaced?
Right.
Yes.
When you look into the ancient texts, they had similar situations in these golden ages, but people spent time working for things like service to others, traveling, arts and crafts, exploring inner peace. So it's about teaching people new ways to define and develop their passions and how to explore those passions.
You still should have the ability to possibly work if you want to, right? It shouldn't be mutually exclusive. Like you don't get this money unless, if everybody got like 200 grand a year, just imagine the entire country just gets a free 200 grand a year. You're never gonna have to worry about food. You're never gonna have to worry about a place to live. You're good. You got $200,000 a year because everything's automated. Everything's done by the government. And the $200,000 that everybody gets, they're getting it anyway because they were gonna buy stuff from them.
Exactly. Yeah. And if we were under that new scenario of 200,000 a year, whatever it was, I would still do this.
Of course.
You know, so people will work. It's like Star Trek. They work for free on Star Trek. They don't, you know, it's just a TV series, but they don't have a paycheck. They did it because they were passionate about it and they believed in it so much. And so there's things that people can still do if they're passionate about those things.
If there was a base paycheck for the whole country, just a base paycheck, but it's $200,000 times 333 million.
And only 190 million are adults.
Let's be generous. Let's make it 200 million adults.
Yeah, it's $40 billion.
40 billion. That's it. That's reasonable.
That's less than the military-industrial complex.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. I love Billy Carson. It's a really great interview. You guys should go check it out. But like Billy said, you know, we're moving forward. But to me, and like he said, we need education, not just automation. You know, we're moving forward every day. But in order for full automation to be swift, there needs to be education. You know, there needs to be education and dismantling of a life that's been so unfamiliar for all of us, right? We could become a species of creators, but only if that transition is handled thoroughly. Otherwise, it could really feel like mass displacement before it feels like liberation at all. But imagine if they did this right, babies. Imagine if they did this right. It's this quote by Bell Hooks from her book, Teaching to Transgress, Education as the Practice of Freedom. And she says, what is it? Actually, I wrote it down for you guys. Let me go pull it up. Without creating learning spaces to develop our capacity to think critically about ourselves and our lives, none of us can move forward. None of us, period. But like Billy Carson said on that Joe Rogan podcast, if this is done right, it can be liberation and not loss. They talked about giving every adult American, $200,000. And the math still came out to being less than our annual military budget. And that stuck with me because right now we live in this world where work equals worth, money equals meaning, productivity equals purpose. What if that all changes? You know, with this full-on automation is going to be a big boom, in my opinion, of this creative economy era where machines do the labor and humans design, direct, and just dream. You know, I feel like it's just natural. It's a natural next phase when machines are doing the most functional labor, you know, and it's scary. We could truly become a species of creators, but if AI can do everything, what becomes meaningful for us to do, right? I remember me and my man was talking about this article. Not even this article, we was talking about just AI taking over and not even taking over and just like how it's evolving every day. And he was like, it's going to come a day when we want it reversed. We want it reversed because we got nothing to do. You know, people are going to be complaining about how they want their 9 to 5s back or what a time it was when they had that. And even the word purpose, you know, is really a lot to unpack in this capitalist economy. You know, most people would have to be trained on how not to be how they always been. You know, because it's rewarding to work. It's rewarding to see your coworkers. It's rewarding to make promotions. It's rewarding. It's rewarding. It's rewarding. But when the AI takes over all the doing, humans have to be the being. We have to really face ourselves and be, bro. The dream of no more 9-to-5s does sound like freedom to me until it happens, right? Then suddenly people wake up and they realize they tied their entire identity to what they do and not who they are. As much as the world makes you think that there will be this dystopia and people won't interact because of automation, I don't believe in it. I feel that we will always need you. We will always need human connection. We will always need all of these things, right? So what are you going to contribute as a human being? I feel like I'm going in so many tangents because I'm passionate, babies. Like I've been sitting on this article and ready to record it for y'all because I'm like I heard it and it blew my mind. So this is fresh. Yeah, I'm chatting. Yeah, it's my podcast, niggas. But I feel like the biggest people like Kai Cenat didn't. I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't be as big if he didn't have that humanistic random meetups like he does when he's outside and sees fans, or if he's pulling the heartstrings of us when he's bringing out people like Big Time Rush and just having that nostalgic feel. He wouldn't get paid. And even me, if I don't put my foot to the pavement with my work, it can't just be just online. How many people really commit to things fully online? Like fully. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some kind of in-person presence done, right? So it's just like my boy Freebake, shout out Freebake, my boy Freebake. But he was talking to me about how people only use social media in spurts because it's kind of like an on-the-go thing, a feeling guilty kind of thing for being on too long, or just letting it take up time as they're waiting for something instead of interacting, right? There's so many reasons why you're on your phone or on social media or whatever for a quick spurt. But the list goes on. But he said his art or all art has to be enticing within the first 2 seconds nowadays, right? And even then, all those comments, all those views only solidify just that, you know, not money. It's him going places in person. It's him connecting in person. It's him actually communicating what this is in person that solidifies that exchange, solidifies that connection, builds that rapport. And I really do feel that that will never go away. Ever. Speaking of Kai, because I brought up Kai Cenat earlier, did y'all see what that Twitch CEO said about him? That he doesn't deserve to be on the Twitch Mount Rushmore and so on? Like, the man literally spent 30 days getting 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Each day, no breaks, being fully recorded in a house with his best friends while they invited their favorite celebrities, favorite childhood heroes into that mansion to play, to talk, and just live in their inner child because of his great spirit. Kai had Big Time Rush, babies. LeBron James cut his hair off as a commitment if I get 1 million to shave my dreads off. And LeBron James came on. LeBron James, the GOAT of basketball, came on, okay? On the last day and cut his hair because he made that stream limit. He's goated. But that motherfucker had the nerve to say he doesn't deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore. Well, he asked me, and I saw another video of our president saying America is so great and how the inventions he was naming was all made by us. Look how great, look how amazing. But it was funny because the kicker was everything that he named, every invention that he named was made by an African American that either got their credit stolen, got cheated out of their credit, got cheated out of their copyright, or, you know, they got it or they didn't, right? It was mind boggling to hear this because he probably didn't even know this. But to my point, my point isn't to go against either of these high powered men, but to make the point that we are the blueprint and we need to do something about our presence, our ownership, the difference that we're making. You know, even like me stating Kai Cenat, his presence without ownership is an issue. The fact that the Twitch CEO can even say that about him is an issue. And it's something that we all should look at today in any of the pursuits that we want to bring. I don't know if you guys know this, but this girl named Charlie D'Amelio, she's from TikTok. She's a dancer. But this girl just endorsed fintech. I don't know what fintech is. Fintech Step is like a technology, but she borrowed $300 million to bring crypto to teens. This is what I like to see. Use them how they use us. Because what even is fintech? But look, real equity. Real equity off of just being a dancer on TikTok. Come on. Come on, y'all. You know what's cool? Actually, I did just see Jaden Smith and Willow Smith just teamed up, and they made this thing called Enlight, which is they teamed up with Enlight. And Enlight was a Black-owned media company and anime studio. Isn't that dope? And it's based in the U.S. and in Tokyo. So, yeah, they just teamed up with a Black-owned company, and now, yeah, we're gonna see a difference. I can't wait to see what comes out of it. But I know that, you know, Kai Cenat is building a school in Africa, and that's amazing. But to me right now, we got to create our own platform, y'all. We do. When are we going to wake up? My best friend was just telling me how all the gifts on TikTok are of people of color, and how now that TikTok allows people to reply with gifts, it goes to show we are the blueprint. Every simple face, every expression is universal, but never credited. Just a face is now a statement that is used as a gift that everyone understands. This can get so deep, but I want to make this episode about finding our purpose and motivations, noticing our power, and thinking and doing the research for ourselves before just acting. You know, I think a great song reference to end this with is Live, Love, Laugh by Earl Sweatshirt. It's a great album and he's a really, really, really conscious rapper and an artist I want to introduce that goes over a lot of what we talked about today. I really want to leave you all with the question for her, like, it's no longer what do you do for work, but what do you create with this life? You know, we don't know where it's going, but we got to have fun while we're doing it. We got to enjoy it. We got to contribute and love on somebody. Love on the people around us. Love on the people that want it.
So you are not following your passion for its own sake, but for what you think it will get you. You have to follow your passion regardless of what people's response is, because there's simply no other choice for you. That's being who you really are. It doesn't matter what other people think or what they give you. You have to follow your passion for its own sake, or you're not being pure about it. You're using it as a condition to get feedback, to be validated by the outside world. The outside world cannot validate you. You can only validate yourself. As soon as you start simply doing what you love for its own sake, not because of the feedback you're going to get, then it can expand and more people can find you who will support you. But you can't do it to get the support. You have to support yourself. You have to know that you are valid.
Okay. Thank you.
Does that help you?
Yes, it did.
Then thank you for allowing us to encourage you.
I know this wasn't something that you expected at all when it came to the conversation. Thank you all for joining me today. To the lives we lead, to the moments we make, to the dreams we wish, and to the fucked up shit we can't erase. Cheers to us. Catch P-Dubs next time on Accepted Addictions. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and I'll see you all next week.
Welcome to Accepted Addictions with P-Dubs. Get ready to immerse yourself in a podcast that's open to people of all stripes and persuasions. Accepted Addictions is not just a podcast, it's a movement. We go over societal norms that are considered acceptable, but are often toxic to our growth, development, and even behavior. This is a platform where we explore the multifaceted identities within ourselves, recognizing that some versions have it all figured out, while others lean into that negativity. This is Accepted Addictions, where every version of you, every evolution of you, is not just embraced, but celebrated. So sit back, open your ears, grab a drink. You know I'll be sipping on my kombucha, and prepare for an engaging journey.
Why everything that's supposed to be bad make me feel so good? Everything they told me not to is exactly what I would. Man, I tried to stop, man, I tried the best I could, but what your addiction
is Accepted Addictions with BOUT.